What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah. And today, Azriella, Kailani, and Bowden are my extra, and I am the ordinary. We've just moved over to our new house. So many thanks again and again to all of my friends and family that helped to merge me and my family over into our new place. What a blessing. It is such a refreshing thing to receive the genuine love of community and serving to benefit your life. July 23rd, my back went out here, and it is still just screaming. We're recording the video today on August 14th. You guys are going to see it later, but my back is hurting, and on my birthday, August 13th, I was diagnosed with COVID. So sitting here recording a video for you, got a little sweat going on from my fever, and it has been such an interesting season. Moving over to our new house, everything is just in a state of chaos. There's boxes stacked up everywhere. The garage is completely jam-packed full. Anytime we want to go and look for something, we have no idea where it is, and it takes forever to find. And it's just so messy. I'm learning a lot about the fact that I don't thrive well within chaos. But as I've been engaging all of this, that God has been ministering to me to teach me about community and how to move forward in strong community. I was just beginning to have some first symptoms of COVID. My lungs were burning. It was like having heartburn, but in your lungs. And so there's just this constant burning pain that it's just there in your lungs. It was so hard to be at home by myself. Charlotte was at work, and I was trying to do real estate and get the kids their lunches and get them off to nap. And I look over, and Bowden's just sitting there. He started saying hi, which is so cute. He just waves at me, hi, son. I look down, and he has pooped through his diaper, and there's only about a quarter size bit of poop on his diaper, and all of the rest of the poop has been shoved down his strap hole in his high chair, such that the poop is contained under his seat. I have no idea how that is even possible, but I went from having a really rough day to having an adult meltdown. I need to be put in time out. I started throwing a fit in my emotions. Externally, I think I did okay. I was like, buddy, oh no, buddy. Picked him up, shook the poop off into his high chair, and then took him upstairs to change his diaper. But the thoughts that are running through my mind is, I don't have time for this. This is not what I was looking forward to doing today. And as a result of him pooping into his high chair, I had to completely tear it all apart, take all the screws out of it to get it completely apart so I could wash the straps and get the poop out from underneath of the seat area. And it pretty much took up the rest of my day. I think the encouragement then that I had is that in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 4, it says, where there are no oxen, the manger is empty, but from the strength of an ox come abundant harvests. I think the principle that I learned there is that if you don't have any oxen in your barn, you're not going to have to deal with much crap. There's not going to be much manure to be hauled out. Barn is going to stay perfectly spotless, shiny, clean. But in order to bring in a mighty harvest, you're going to need a strong ox. And if you're going to have a strong ox, that means he's going to be eating lots of food and exercising, and he's going to be pooping all over your barn. I think that invitation to that then is that it helps me as a father, it helps me as a leader, as a participant in the body of Christ, to understand that if we want to bring in a mighty harvest in revival and to see people come to know Christ, that it comes together with mess. As I took Bowden upstairs, Azriela and Kailani both ran along with me, and they said, Dad, we're gonna help you. Oh, Dad, we're so sorry that this was so upsetting, and oh no, Bowden made a big mess. We're gonna help you. And so Azriela jumped in. She gently held Bowden's hands, because he usually takes his hands, wants to stick them in his poop. And Kailani was be my wipe captain, so she's just pulling out wipes, feeding me wipes to get his butt all cleaned up. And as Azriela held Bowden's hand, she said, Dad, oh man, that stinks so bad. Oh, Dad, this is not fun. But Dad, I'm dominating my appetites. That in our family, we celebrate our preferences and dominate our appetites. So we had a little conversation that, yes, that you are dominating your reaction, that the immediate reaction is, this is gross, this is off-putting, it smells bad, I don't want to be any part of this, and I'm out. So I just celebrated with Azriela just the person of Christ that was being revealed in her, that she was denying herself in order to serve me and her brother, and in a very stinky, unpleasant situation. Once we got done with changing her diaper, I was rocking Bowden, getting ready to put him down for nap, and Azriela was sitting on the floor, just kind of looking off into space, and she said, Dad, if we didn't have Bowden, we wouldn't have to clean up his poopy blowout diapers. And that would be kind of nice. I agreed with her assessment, but I was like, oh no, let's not go that way. And she immediately said on the back end of that though, she said, but if we didn't have to clean up his messes, we also wouldn't have brother. So even though poopy diapers are disgusting, I'm glad that we have brother here because he's super cute. And then she jumped up, was jumping up and down and tickling him and making him laugh. But it was so beautiful. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. And so out of this context of Proverbs 14, that where there's no oxen, the manger remains clean, but it requires a strong ox to bring in a mighty harvest. Jesus challenges his disciples and says, look, the fields are white unto harvest. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into the harvest field. And so the correlation, I believe, that goes together is that the fields are white unto harvest. That we are to ask the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into the harvest field, but that together with those harvesters has to be community that is strong as an ox. What that looks like is when I grew up on a farm, I took care of sheep. My brother and I had a sheep operation. And as a result of that, when we were in a lambing season, we would have to go up and we'd have to clean out the jugs every day. We'd scrape them down to bare dirt, pull all of that urine, poop-soaked straw out, throw it in a wheelbarrow, wheel it out to the manure pile, and we'd put down fresh straw so it'd be all nice and dry so that the sheep's hooves wouldn't get dry rot and their feet would start to become sore. And we would do that day after day, and it actually became a very enjoyable task, taking care of the sheep and playing with the lambs and taking care, husbanding well our sheep that had been put in our charge. And so as I think about manure as part of a process of the barn, you have an ox and he's just laying it down thick and rich every day, that if you have systems in place and you're expecting the manure, it's no problem that you clean out the stall every day. You have the systems in place to remove it. You know how to remove it. You're expecting it to come, and you don't resent the ox for doing what he's doing because he's eating and doing. The only reason that the manure would become a frustration or that would become something that should be addressed or resented is if you're not expecting it. If you're trying to keep things crystalline clear and shiny all the time, then having a pooping ox in your barn is going to be very off-putting. When you have community then that is strong as an ox, it's community that deals well with the process of sanctification and grace, that people bring their messiness, the things where they discover areas of sin in their life, that there's failures and foibles, that there's grace for those things. That as people defecate spiritually or relationally, that there's an expectation that this is going to happen. It's healthy, and we have systems in place to be able to deal with the mess. Now, in the instance with Bowden, my little boy, that in that context, I had a system in place. It was called a diaper, and the diaper failed, and he pooped out of his diaper, and that was a little bit beyond just the ox being in the barn. But in those contexts, that's the exception, not the rule. My encouragement to you is that you would build community that is strong as an ox in your family, in your workplace, in your community of faith, that you realize that in order to bring in the mighty harvest of those who are coming to know Jesus, that if they come to know Jesus, but then are invited into community that is crystalline perfect all the time and shiny and there's no messes, they're gonna flame out really quick. They can't thrive in that environment. But in order to bring in the mighty harvest, the fields that are white unto harvest, as our Father sends out workers into the harvest field to gather in those who are yet to know him, that in order to bring in the mighty harvest, it has to be accompanied with community that is strong as an ox. So my encouragement to you is to make space and expect the messes that happen as a result of people growing and maturing and getting stronger in the Lord. You have systems and procedures in place to be able to deal with people's messes that they make, and that it's okay, that it's expected, and it's just the natural and normal processes of you nurturing those who have been placed in your care. As we do that, but then there is this transference in our hearts, like my daughter said, that if we didn't have these immature people in our midst, there wouldn't be messes and we wouldn't have to clean them up. But if we didn't have to clean up those messes of the immature and to love them in the midst of that process, that would mean that they wouldn't be a part of our lives. And that's not okay, because we love the fruit that God is bringing into the kingdom in the lives of those who are being reborn into new life in Christ. If you subscribe to what I'm doing, oh boy, yep. And if you subscribe to what I'm doing, hit the button, hit it, and then hit the bell as well so you get notified with the new content. And if you love this video, you didn't just like it, hit the thumbs down button. I pray blessings on our lives together. I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next video.